So once the customer has decided what they want to purchase, we need to go ahead and place the order for anything we looked up online. Now notice I still have my grand total here. We're going to just go ahead and order everything. And at the same time, when I get ready to do this, I'm just going to hit apply. And then I might go down here and change my status. I can say, well, inspection is complete, estimate complete, but the work is authorized. So you can change your status of your job as you go. Now where you'll see that status change, and we'll go back to prioritization here. You see now you start to see that green check mark. See that change the status, work authorized. All right. So since we looked up most of the stuff online, we're going to go over to our purchases. Again, here's our breakdown from our Napa vendor, from Parts Tech, and from O'Reilly. So to do this, you have to first click over here on the left side. So you can either click on the vendor name or on any part, doesn't matter. Now this place order is going to appear. This will not appear unless you click on something over here first. Click on place order. That's what I want to get. Reference number is going to be your work order number. You can type in anything else, type in a message. If it was maybe 2 or 3 days since you looked this up, maybe they only had one at the time, I can always click and recheck the availability. So I hit place order. It'll send the order through and give me a confirmation. Now notice Napa is no longer at the top. See, it's down here to order confirmed, date, and a timestamp. Get ready to order the next one. Place order. Again, same thing. Now you notice this has changed. This is not the work order number. That's typically going to be the supplier invoice number. And then I do the next one. So each one is a separate order because it's 3 separate vendors that I looked this up at. Now the biggest thing you're going to notice is once these have been placed, you start to get a color change on the work order. And see, this is kind of a dead giveaway here. You'll notice no more purple. It's starting to turn black. Everything's starting to turn black. The units will be in purple because we have not received them yet. Now, since we ordered these online, when these parts show up, I can simply go back to the work order. So let's just say I save and close it. I'm gonna put it back to Rocky. Oh, sorry, to Sam Socket here. Now when these show up, I can double click here. I can go back over to my overview screen. See, I can go look for it. I can double click, open it up. Either way, doesn't matter. I go to purchases and I start receiving. So why would I want to go to purchases? Well, if I go to purchases, see, I can receive them in batches. See, we ordered 2 wiper blades and a battery. So I don't want to receive these each individually. That's kind of a waste of my time. So what I do is I just click. I don't want to receive item. I'm going to open the purchase order. See, the system automatically created a purchase order. There's my purchase order number. There's my work order number. I'm checking this in. Did I receive it? Did I return it? Did it back order? There's a cost, and see, this one even has a core on it. And then I'm going to put my actual supplier invoice number here. So here I might, put in something like that, whatever it is, and I'm going to receive it. Now, if only one of these parts showed up, but the other one didn't yet, then I can receive just those items, see, by highlighting. But we're going to receive it all. It all showed up at the same time. Now it moves it down to order received. Now you'll start to see a color change here. You see now the purple is gone. So let's go receive our other parts. So while we're doing this, let's talk about what we call the golden rule in here. The golden rule is if you order something, you have to receive it. If you don't receive it, you'll never have a record of it. If you don't have a record of it, you have no way of returning it. So it's a cascading effect. Receiving is the most important part because that starts everything. So what is actually happening here? If I go into my work order, now I've received all these parts. So let's go just take a look at a line real close. See, it automatically filled in the description, line code, part number. It brought across my cost, marked it up based off of the matrix. See, it's automatically doing everything. Again, I can always change the margin if I need to. In other words, I can just type it in. I can change my sell price if I need to. I can move it over to a fixed total if I want. So again, this is going to be up to your store manager or the owner on how much he wants you to do here, or they want you to do. But more importantly, if I don't receive this properly, how is the system going to know that I even got it? So I have to receive, and here's what it does. So this is starting your general ledger and all your accounting. So if I go back to my purchases and I look at my supplier invoices, and let's go look at O'Reilly here, or Napa, or whatever. See, these are invoices that have been received in. Matter of fact, let's go look for one we just did. See, there's the air filter. That's the part number. It's on a work order. So as soon as you receive it, it's making a copy of it back here because they were billed for it. Whether you keep this or not, if you return it, you still got billed for it. So it's very important that you receive. And by doing that, it's going to give you the capability of actually returning a part and tracking it and make sure that you have a way to track that part going back and make sure you get your credits. Same thing happens with cores. So this battery had a core. The system will put it into the returns bin whenever we post once we create an invoice. So why do I have to wait until we post it? Because at any time I can open this up and I can change it to not returned. And you see what it did? It added the core value to the price. And it tells them right on the ticket, hey, you're being charged for the core. Now, by doing it that way, if I were to get a core at a later date from that customer, I will be able to issue a credit, refund the money on the core, and it'll put the core into the return so we can make sure we can track it, send it back, get our core credit. But if I don't ever receive it properly, I'll never know. Unknown just means we don't know at this stage, and it'll actually put this in purple, see, to kind of force you to make a choice. It won't let you post it like this. It'll force you to come back and make a choice. So what happens if I just want to manually receive an item in? Let's say I had to get something, maybe a hardware kit or something, and I just picked up the phone and called. So I'm just going to drop in a line here. I'm going to add a material line. Again, left click, right click is all I'm doing. Now I want to order in a hardware kit and receive it in. So how am I going to do that? I'm going to pick up the phone, call, they're going to send it to me. They're going to give me a supplier invoice. I click to receive. This is manually receiving a part. What is this part? Maybe it's a hardware kit. What is the part number? Now I don't need a line code here, but I definitely want a part number. What happens if I put it in the line code box? You see how pinks it out. We don't want that. We want to just put a part number in. How many did I get? What did it cost me? If there was a core, I'd put a core value. Who did I get it from? Maybe I got it from Napa. What's the invoice number? Whatever the invoice number is going to be. What if I ordered 2? Let's say we ordered 2 of these. Okay, marks it up based off of the matrix. And I hit OK. That's just a simple manual receive. That's all it is. There's times where you're going to also need to sublet out stuff. So what is a sublet? A sublet is I'm paying somebody else for some type of service. Maybe it's a tow, you getting a windshield done. Maybe you send your vehicles out for alignments. So a sublet, that's all it is. Now I can add a sublet to any job just by clicking on a line, right click, and add a sublet line. And it'll treat it as a sublet. It is not a part line or a material line. It is not a labor line. It's a sublet. It's treated separately in the reporting. Now, a lot of people will have what we call a sublet category with maybe a job or 2 already in here. So maybe I have one for towing. Maybe we had to tow this in because the battery went dead. So here, all I'm going to do is when the subletter shows up with their invoice, I'm going to go in, open it up, and I'm going to go receive it in. So it's very similar to a material line, even though it is a sublet. What did it cost me? Maybe it was $100. Who's the supplier? I'm going to go look for the supplier. Notice I just start typing the name, pulls it right up. Okay, what's the invoice? And hit OK. System will mark it up automatically off the matrix. Now, if you need to change this, you can always, again, change the margin here or the sell price here. Maybe I just want to charge a flat 130. See, that's all I'm doing. So what happens if I don't receive a part properly, or maybe look it up properly? I'm going to go check this lookup required box here. Very common mistake. So you see how that's still purple. Now when I hit post, again, the system does a self-check. It's going to let you know if there's an issue. It's letting you know that line had that box check. Go check it. It will not let you proceed. So you have to go back and fix it. What happens when I have parts that I order in that are incorrect or I don't need after all? I'm going to give you 2 prime examples here. I ordered this brake pads and this hardware kit. I got 2 of these hardware kits. What if these were the wrong pads? If that was the case, once I receive them, I right click and I return them. So what this is going to do is this is going to delete it off this work order. And it's going to put a copy of this into the returns items. Sometimes we order multiples. So here I bought 2 hardware kits. What if I actually only needed 1? So I can open the line. I go back to the receive button. And I can tell the system, look, I received 2 of these in, but I'm returning 1. I can only do this while the work order is still active. In other words, it hasn't been invoiced. And as long as the supplier invoice was entered properly and still sitting in the purchases as what we call not posted, I can change this. So it makes it really easy. See, now I'm only billing one. So I'm either receiving and returning the whole thing, or I'm receiving, open up the receive, and return part of it. Now, I need to go find some pads. I'm going to right click. I'm going to add a material line. Now this has no definition, so it has no idea what to look for. Now I could go look up the definition if I knew what it was. I said disc brake pad set, and then I can jump to my catalog and start searching. So what if I didn't know what it was? Let's go see what happens. Go to my catalog. Now it's going to say, well, what the heck are you looking for? It has no idea. See, so now I go start looking for disc brake pad. Hit search. Now you notice here it says front. I want rears, right? So I can just go in here, type in rear. Oh, there's the rears. Click check. See it comes up. There we go. What do I want? Click it, apply. Fills everything in. And then I can hit OK. I can go back to my purchases and place my order. Once it arrives, click, open my purchase order, check it in, and receive it. Simple as that. So this customer calls back and says, look, I don't want to do the wiper blades or the air filter right now after all. Changed my mind. So I'm going to go over to review. I'm going to go uncheck those. I'm going to apply. It's declined at this time. Now let's see what this says. These items are received on the package. The following items will be returned: the wiper blades and the air filter. Now, if I go back and look at deferred work, they're still here. The system won't put them in the returns bin until you post this to an invoice. Have to post it to an invoice. Why? Because at any time while this is an open work order, what can I do? I can put them back to the work order. It's not set in stone until you post it out. Now, typically, once you're done with the ticket, then you're gonna here, the technician's done, I'm done, call the customer. I'll move it over to completed work, and you'll see it's all completed. Customer comes back to pick it up. Make sure my guy washed it. Now, what's the out mileage? I'm gonna go post. Put in my out mileage here. Maybe it was 115002. Do I want to book the next appointment? See, it's based off the reminders. I can even open this up, change date, time, whatever I want to do. If he declines at this time, uncheck the box. If you want to make an appointment for something else, just write it in. Hit next. Here's his $50 deposit. There's the balance that he owes. Now remember, this guy has an account, but we can only go up $150. So we're going to use this account here. He's got to pay the balance somehow. Use another credit card or check or cash or something. Remember, you can take as many different payment methods as you need. Our goal here is to get this to 0. If it's a different person paying, sometimes you get these customers in with extended warranties. Customer pays part, warranty pays the rest. See, then you would go in here and change who the payee is. It'd be a different person or company paying for it. You just find the name. I don't know if we have, but let's see if we got anything in here. Could be a warranty deal. Hit select, it'll change the contact. Let's just go pay this off. Hit next. What do I want to print and or email? And you can email out from here too. Now, if you have your email, it'll automatically load it. If not, you can click here, pull it up. Notice it has completely disappeared from the prioritization screen. It has also disappeared from here, from the technician view. So where am I going to find that invoice? Now I can go here and search for an invoice. I can even search by name or vehicle or something. Typically, most people are going to do this. I'm going to go to work orders, go to the bottom. There's my last 25, and there's my invoice. So what can I edit here? There's 3 things you can edit. Now, in order to edit, you have to be able to have the feature. Now, you notice there's no way here I can edit anything. If I try to click on this, I can look at it, but I can't change anything. I can click here, but I can't change anything. So unless you have the security for it, you're not gonna be able to do this. Now, most shops, usually the service writer can, some don't. So I'm gonna show you how this is done. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna close this up. I'm gonna log off as the service advisor. We're gonna walk offline. Now I'm gonna go log back in as a manager. All right, I'll go back to work orders here. I'm gonna open this up. So you'll notice, see at the end, it has a edit. So if I click on edit, I type in a little code. The code will change each time. Now what I can do is I can go put in a purchase order if I need to. Sometimes you don't get the purchase order number till after you invoice it and send it to the customer. So you can come in, put in whatever it is. You can update the in or the out mileage. If it was incorrect, you can fix it. Now, bear in mind, this is reporting to Carfax. So if you're reporting to Carfax and you catch it the same day, no big deal, because they won't see it till that evening. But if you don't catch it till later, might be a week or month or 3 months from now, you need to notify Carfax. And there is a link in the help section on how to do that. You can also change technicians. Now, if I had a different tech do the battery, for example, see, I can go in here and I can change a technician, make sure they get the proper technician credit. If I had to completely change the work order to a completely different technician, maybe I had the wrong one by mistake. Again, I'm going to use my drop down here and go to advanced. And again, I can even do the same thing with a service advisor. I can change it. So if I want to reassign all the lines, I certainly can. Once I'm done, I hit save and close. You can also reprint PDF and email from here. You can even get a copy of your deposit and where it was consumed. And we'll save and close. That is the end of Basic Service Advisor 2 training.